Have you ever made a decision where no matter which way you went, you were going to lose something? Leave the job or stay, marry or let go, be with family or push for the career, tell the truth or protect someone. The real torment is never not knowing how to choose. It's choosing and then spending years imagining the other path was better. When you were young, you believed that if you thought hard enough, you could find the right answer. That if you worked hard enough, you could find the road with no cost. Then you grew up, and you found out some situations never had that road. All you can do is choose which kind of loss you can survive. 3,000 years ago, Odysseus faced a situation with no correct answer. He had to make a choice between two kinds of death. He chose 6 people died. Homer says it was necessary, but Homer also says he wept, because knowing something is necessary doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Before leaving Circe's island, Circe told Odysseus what waited ahead. 2 choices. The first, Scylla, a monster living on a cliff, 12 legs, 6 heads, 3 rows of teeth in each. Every time a ship passed, she reached down and took 6 people. The second, Charybdis, a massive whirlpool. 3 times a day it swallowed the entire sea, then spat it back out. If your ship got close while it was pulling the water in, everyone, every single person, gone, no exceptions. Circe told Odysseus, go near Scylla. 6 people will die, the rest will live. Do not go near Charybdis. She said, you are powerless there. Not even Poseidon could pull you out of that whirlpool. Odysseus asked her, if I fight Scylla, can I win? Circe said, don't try. If you stop to fight, she has time to take more. Keep rowing, don't stop. Let those 6 die, and let the rest live. Odysseus didn't tell his crew what was waiting for them. He was afraid they'd panic, drop the oars, freeze. He carried that knowledge alone. They entered those waters. Charybdis churned in the distance. Odysseus ordered everyone, look at the whirlpool, row toward the other side. While all eyes were on Charybdis, Scylla reached down from the cliff and took 6 in one motion. Homer says those 6, as they were being carried away, were still calling Odysseus's name. He watched, did nothing, because he knew if he stopped, if he tried to save them, more would die. He said, that was the one sight in all his drifting he could not bear. I want you to stop here. What Odysseus faced wasn't a difficult problem. A difficult problem has an answer. It's just hard to find. What Odysseus faced was something different, a situation with no correct answer. No matter which way he chose, someone died. Go near Charybdis, everyone dies. Go near Scylla, 6 die. The 6 die option isn't the right answer. It's the option with the smaller cost. That difference matters enormously. We're taught from childhood, think hard enough, and you'll find the right answer. Prepare well enough, and you'll find the road with no cost. But Scylla and Charybdis tell you something no one wants to hear. Some situations don't have a perfect answer, not because you haven't thought it through, but because a perfect answer never existed. Philosophy calls this tragic conflict, not a clash between good and evil, but 2 things that are both right, demanding opposite choices in the same moment. Saving everyone is right, but that road kills everyone. Letting 6 die is cruel, but that cruelty lets the others live. Odysseus made that choice, and then his eyes went red. Because knowing something is necessary doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Let me ask you something. What does it mean to be mature? We usually say mature means being sensible, managing your emotions, being responsible. But I think Scylla and Charybdis are describing a different kind of maturity. Maturity is when you start to accept some choices have no perfect answer. A child facing a dilemma asks first, why do I have to choose? Can't I have both? That's not a bad question. That's someone who hasn't been taught yet by reality. An adult facing the same situation already knows, not every why do I have to choose has a good answer. Sometimes you just have to choose. And choosing means losing something. Work or family, dreams or stability, honesty or survival, stay or leave. The real torment is never not knowing how to choose. It's choosing, and then spending years imagining the other path was better. These aren't dilemmas because you haven't thought them through. They're dilemmas because they just are. Maturity isn't finding the road where you don't lose either thing. Maturity is, when there's no such road, making a choice anyway, and carrying it. But there's something else I haven't said yet. Odysseus didn't tell his crew what was ahead. He knew alone that 6 of them were going to die. He didn't say it. How do you feel about that? One way to see it, that's a cruelty. Those 6 people didn't know what was coming. They had no chance to prepare, no chance to say anything final. Another way to see it, that's the loneliness a leader has to carry. If he had told everyone, there's a monster ahead that will take 6 of us, what would those 6 people have been like from that moment on? What would the whole ship have been like? Odysseus held that knowledge alone. Let the others, not knowing, row through those waters. Is that deception? It's also a form of protection that costs enormously to carry. Has anyone in your life ever carried something for you that you didn't know about? Let you pass through a stretch safely, not knowing what they were holding. What that person carried, you may never know. Scylla and Charybdis is the part of the Odyssey I find most brutal. Not because 6 people died, but because they died so quietly. They called out Odysseus's name as they were taken. He watched, didn't stop. Homer wrote it in just a few lines. Then the story kept moving. I think Homer did that on purpose. He didn't let you stay in that tragedy too long, because Odysseus didn't stay either. He couldn't. Stopping was Charybdis. That's the adult condition. You make a choice, you carry that choice, and then you keep rowing. Homer says that was the one sight Odysseus could not bear, but Homer also says he kept going. Not because he was cold, but because he knew staying inside that pain was another way of dying. So I want to ask you, is there a dilemma holding you right now? I'm not asking you to decide today. I'm asking, is it a dilemma because you haven't figured it out yet? Or have you already figured it out, and you're just not ready to accept the cost? Because maturity isn't finding the perfect answer. It's accepting that every choice has a cost, and spending your energy making the road you chose worth it. Wu Talks World, until next time.